Alright, another response video to whoever this guy is. So, play.
I kind of wanted to make a video discussing one of the issues that I don't understand why people take this stance. They called it antinatalism, and it's kind of been upgraded by Inmendum to ephilism, which is life.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, is it really that complicated? I mean, really? Do intelligent people, look, okay, thousands of years, human beings lived not knowing the answers. They didn't know what evolution was, didn't know what bacterium was, didn't know how thunder was created, didn't know the cosmos was made up of a ball of flaming gas. And now we know all of that, and now we can have serious conversations about exactly what this is that we're doing, this animated, gladiatoring, survivaling, stupid thing. And some people have looked at it and they've said plain and simple, oh, I see, we're just maggots that sing and dance better than the other maggots. That we're really not doing anything, we're chasing the same energy. Okay, so we can replicate our DNA molecule, and that's kind of a dismal pursuit. And because they dare to do that, because they defy your pop culture, right? Pop culture, meme little mishmash, square corner, little box life, that somehow this is offensive to you, and you have to hold your nose. Why, oh, there's people who are derogatorily describing the narrative that is our phantasmagorically special and super lives. I mean, it's just, when are you people going to get, start realizing that you're just too stylish for your shirt?
Backwards, and it's essentially the synthesis that life is broken, and I want to sort of tackle both of these because I find them sort of philosophically problematic.
Yeah, well, what sort of the problem is? I mean, I watched a couple of minutes of this. You're not going to argue them. You're not going to explain. You're just going to go, well, this is A, that's D, and this is F, their conclusion, and I don't see any continuity. Well, yeah, if you misparaphrase something, then you're probably not going to see its continuity. I mean, that's sort of one of the logical rules.
The first one's antinatalism, which is something that I'm not as against. I'm not as... because they do have some good points, they just take them too far. And essentially the synthesis is that there's a ton of suffering. Thousands of kids, millions of kids are brought into the world each day into situations where they are going to suffer more.
Well, I believe it's hundreds of thousands, actually. But anyway.
Then they're going to enjoy life, and that they're going to wish that they've never been born. And essentially, because of our biological urges, we've condemned them to a life of suffering, and that's wrong, and we shouldn't have kids.
So that's your paraphrase, right? I've seen lots of Ephelis videos that explain it a lot better than that. So that's sort of the problem right there, right? I mean, they make comparisons to drawing straws for somebody else, that you're playing God. You're saying, I'm capable of rolling risk dice for your welfare. Your welfare is on these dice. You might be born without eyes. That can happen. And I'm going to throw the dice for you. And you're going to get whatever falls on those dice. Short, little, fat, retarded kid. Yeah, that can be your fate. Okay? Because I'm competent to play a game called life. Why am I competent? Oh, that's right. A DNA molecule gave me a penis. That's why I'm competent. Yeah, I didn't pass a test. That's true. I didn't have to think hard or do anything really. I just had to be able to minimally function as a biological organism and manage to stick my willy in a vagina. That's it. Yes, that's my qualifications. And they're saying bullshit to that.
I find this is a really good line of reasoning up until that last part where it's, we shouldn't have kids.
Yeah, you shouldn't expose something to risk for no good reason. Now, what would be the reason to have kids? Oh, it would be some sort of selfish nonsense like, I'm so super special, the world needs more dorky guys. No, I don't think it does. I haven't seen any signs that say, We need more dorkos. No, I don't see it. I just don't see. I haven't seen those signs. Haven't seen it under a rock that says, "Oh, we need more dorky guys." No, it's nowhere. Nowhere to be found is this need except in your perception. All right, you have to do a little better than that. When you're going to do something, you have to do it for better reasons than "I think so." No, the think so has to be built on because the world needs it, or because it's a good idea and it will make something good happen. There's no proof that that's what having kids does. Most of the time, what happens? Oh, that's right, they grow up in mediocrity, have some slave job, so they can get cancer and die. Whatever. Maybe you like the average human life. You think it's all super and special. I think it's pretty mundane, creepy, and yeah, I would like to take a pass. But I can't take a pass if the moron keeps throwing the dice. Get it? No, you probably can't get it. It's probably over your head. I didn't make me. I didn't choose to be here. Somebody else made the choice. Can't be undone. Once you're here, you're kind of stuck with it. Yeah, that's how it works. Maybe people should have to think before they do that. Maybe they should have to come to me with a sentence or two explaining why they're not just being a selfish asshole. Yeah.
That doesn't follow. It's a non sequitur.
Fuck you.
The direct line of reasoning is we should heavily consider the situation into which we are bringing kids, and I'm not against that.
Well, whatever. Heavily consider. Again, we know the risk of nuclear power plants. It's not some personal choice thing. You make the argument. Here's the risk. Here's the benefit. Here's how much a catastrophe will cost. Here's how much money we save by doing nuclear. Yeah, so maybe it's not going to all work out because in every 100 years we'll have a Chernobyl, and that'll cost about $1 zillion. And so, yeah, all the cost effectiveness of the nuclear power is thrown out the window because we kill a bunch of people and irradiate a bunch of land, and that's really expensive. So yeah, let's not bother with this one until we can actually do it right. Fail safe. Fail safe is a really cool concept. Think about that one for a while. Maybe that should be part of the conversation. Maybe somebody should be obligated to understand what the concept fail safe means and why you would do something that isn't fail safe. What is the urgency? What is the necessity? Again, what is the necessity of having children? Oh, I selfishly want to. I selfishly want to roll dice for somebody else. I selfishly want to draw straws for somebody else and throw them into basically horror. I mean, it's going to happen. Somebody's going to draw the straw where the little kid gets paralyzed when he's 5 years old. Fuck you, cunt.
For instance, I'm in my early 20s.
Who cares?
So what that means is that I don't want to have a kid. Because
who cares?
I'm not emotionally mature enough
Who
to have a kid.
cares?
I like to drink a
Who
little bit too much
cares?
on the weekends.
Who cares?
Responsibly take care
Who
of the kid.
cares? Yeah, responsibly take care of. So you know the standards of what responsible parenthood is. Well, why don't you give me a list of what responsible parenthood is? How they protect against the risk, how they buy insurance against the kid going paralyzed when it's 5 years old. What insurance policy do they have? What undue power do they have? What godly powers do they have, these God players? You want to explain to me how their powers equal the action, how the action of creation, when you have no power, you have no godly powers, how you can't fix it, you can't undo it, so you're going to do it anyway, and you're going to do it why? Because you want to? That sounds like absolute crap to me.
And I'm not in a place financially where
Who
I
cares?
can support a child.
Who
and
cares?
I want to be a good father. At
Who
least not at this
cares?
moment.
Who cares?
So that makes sense to me.
Who cares? Who cares? The subject of crap is completely irrelevant to the judgment of the act itself. The act itself is inherently God-playing. Okay, it's inherently risky to the victim that will be created potentially. So all we're arguing about is statistics. You're saying, well, it's okay. If there's 5 happy people and 1 cripple, it's okay. Let's roll the dice. So if we're going to the theme park and 5 of us enjoy going and one of us will be horribly sick, it's okay. We'll just impose it on him. We'll just say, fuck you, asshole. You have to go because we want to go. So what's your number? Does that be 1 in 5 or 1 in 10 or 1 in 100? How many people will you torture to play your silly game? Why don't you just answer those straight, direct questions instead of playing this wishy-washy, mishy-mushy, I'm too stupid to have kids right now, but I'm going to get smart later. I'm too much of a fucking irresponsible fucknut now, but I'm going to get really responsible later. Yeah, whatever, turd ball.
The fact that I should never have a kid, that I wouldn't be a good father, that...
Yeah, it's not about what good father. So you know what that is again, right? I don't want you as a fucking dork. I don't want some dorky guy. I don't want to call you dad. I don't want to wake up on this planet and say, oh, that's my father, Mr. Dorcatus. He's a Dorkosaurus, for Christ's sakes. I'm fucking the spawn of Dorkosaurus. Fuck. Lame.
You know, in the right situation, that it wouldn't become too much of a burden on society, and it wouldn't, you know, and I can say that there's a good likelihood that this child...
Oh yeah, good likelihood. So you're just going to play odds, right? You're going to go to Vegas with somebody else's money and you think you're Mr. Lucky. I'm Mr. Lucky. I got my lucky shirt on. It's got cards on it. And I got sparkles and some rhinestones. I'm going to Vegas and I'm going to make money for my friends. Fuck you. Alright? I don't want you rolling dice for me. Fuck you. Roll dice for your fucking self. Fuck with yourself. Play the game for yourself. But don't think you have the right to decide for some other living creature that it needs to be poofed into existence by you. You're not God. You're not even fucking close to a God.
I was going to enjoy its existence. No, I can't say that that's an impossibility. I'd say that that's likely. And I don't think...
Oh, so because it's likely again. So how many, we're just talking about victims, right? You're just going to declare that, okay, as long as it's only 6 million Jews that get killed in the war, it's an okay war. Yeah, we can survive that. We can do that every 3 or 4 decades. No problemo. That's all you're saying. You're just writing off the harm. You're writing off the victims. You're just saying, I know how much your pain is worth. I'm willing to fuck you over. Fuck you is all I got to say to that. You got to come up with something better. You got to come up with a reason to have kids. Not just this mushy shit like I'm not ready yet. You're not ready to what? To be a selfish fuck? To act on your projection that there's some necessity? You're not going to explain the necessity for you to have kids. You're not going to explain why Earthlings need to be here any more than Martians or Venusians or Moonikins, are you? Explain to me what purpose, what function Earthlings serve that the absent Martians and the absent Venetians and the absent Moonikins are not serving. Explain to me how the universe is somehow diminished more if we're not here, but it's not apparently diminished at all without all those other assholes.
You know, it is an impossibility. I don't know if I'm going to have kids. I know that I'm not going to have them anytime soon, but it's childish to look at it any other way.
It's childish to look at what any other way? Your eternal right? Your God-given right? The DNA gave me a penis and I have a right to use it. It doesn't matter if I'm retarded. It doesn't matter if my genetic code sucks. It doesn't matter if I marry a fucking skanky whore. No, nothing matters except my desire to do something. But I don't have to explain exactly why I have a right to do something to something else. Alright? You're not playing with your own self here, fella. You're playing with something else, and it might not like it.
That's why I think antinatalism doesn't work. It's because the line of reasoning doesn't really follow.
And your line of reasoning, your alternative line of reasoning is, well, if I feel like it, I'll do it, but if I don't feel like it, I won't. Because I just, whatever, I don't have to take responsibility for it. If it goes wrong, it's not my fault because everybody else is doing it. I'm just sheepling along. So why would I be an asshole if I have a kid that's a mutant creature or a homicidal maniac or a rapist or a wife beater? How's that my fault? I didn't do anything. I only fucking had the kid and forced it into existence. It's not like I created the problem. Yeah, it is. Durr.
And I think that it's completely reasonable that people do not evaluate whether they have kids
Right. It's perfectly reasonable to play God when you have no godly powers. It's perfectly reasonable to subject something else to potential great harm, okay, for silly, frivolous, thoughtless, fucktarded, selfish reasons. You're just basically saying, because I'm busy and I want to get to the ball field to go play hopscotch with my buddies, I'm just going to push some old lady in a wheelchair into traffic. Now, she might get hit or she might not get hit, but that's not my problem, is I'm on my way to the ball field to go play hopscotch. Fuck you.
And on any level, most of the time. But, you know, if you look at my parents, they did that, and, you know, for better or for worse.
For better or for worse, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I think you probably got the better. You do have a ceiling over your head made out of some other substance besides, like, moose shit. So, yeah, you probably got some of the better. All right, and if you got the worst, that maybe you wouldn't be so fucking calm, cool, and collected about the whole damn thing. All right, I'm fairly uncomfortable about it. I mean, I had a pretty good shot at it, but it's still shit. And because you're too stupid to see the shit isn't my fault. How the fuck is it my fault you're stupid? You don't realize a DNA molecule is not a very good designer? That it's not Mr. Architect? We can do it? No, it's just really can't do it. It can't do a goddamn fucking thing right, actually. It makes tyrannosauruses and crocodiles and AIDS viruses and all kinds of hideous shit. And you say, oh, but it is the thing. Yeah. There, that's what we'll do. Let's call it the thing. And therefore, we can't defile, we can't insult, we can't analyze, we can't scrutinize the thing. No, yeah, we can. We can figure out that it's gladiator war for absolutely no enduring accomplishment. Just silly fighting for nothing. 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 It's stupid.
Kids, you know, me and my brothers are pretty well off right now, and I'm generally a happy person. And
Oh, again, who cares, right? Retards are generally happy. Does that mean that I want to be a retard? No, it doesn't. Okay, the fact that you are deluded fucking just dork wipes is not evidence of something. Here, I'm a dork wipe and I'm happy. Therefore, life is worth forcing on somebody. No, I don't think that logic has any continuity at all.
Suffer anymore, then I enjoy life. So that's a quick issue, but I wanted to get to ethelism, which is sort of in Mendham's brainchild. And I watch Snake Plisskenus, however you pronounce it. He's hilarious. I think he's actually wonderful, and I should subscribe to him.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, a guy who says absolutely nothing. You ask him direct questions, he just says something like, I like to lick my big toe on Sunday. So he answers, he accounts for nothing, he obeys no rules of argumentation, but because he drinks and farts, you assholes call it a good, oh, he's a very good philosopher, except he doesn't know what a nihilist is.
And I will, after this video, and all of you should, I'm going to put a link to his channel below. He did a good sort of deconstruction of this philosophy, and I wanted to sort of put in my 2 cents. There's an underlying assumption in it.
Yeah, you're not putting in, it is 2 cents worth. It's literally what it's worth. It's worth 2 fucking cents, at best.
Mendham's philosophy that you can only suffer. There's a common phrase, if you train for any sport, I'm a competitive athlete currently.
Professional hopscotch? Much? Anyway.
You know, you'll hear athletes, I don't believe in pleasure, I only believe in the relief of suffering. George St. Pierre says that. He's a fighter, he's one of my heroes.
Whoop-de-doo, some more.
And we all know that's not true. That there's pleasure and there is suffering. There's 2 sides to the coin.
Yeah, it says you now. So you're the authority on what goes on in our psychology, right? I'm going to argue there's states, okay? Negative states and the states when those states are being elevated. So when you go from a negative state to a less negative state, you get what's called a positive reward. But it has no enduring value. It cannot possibly compensate for somebody else's suffering. It's used by you in gaining your satisfaction. And that's it. It's used up. It has no value to compensate for somebody else's.
I also think that existence is, to some degree has value because
here we go.
It's better than non-existence.
Oh, isn't that just brilliant? It has value because it's better than non-existence. So you've done non-existence in some sort of, you have a memory of it. You went there, you traveled there, you took some pictures with your digital camera or your phone, right? Did you bring back, you got some pictures of the nothing and the nowhere? And you're going to tell us how this is better because that cesspool is somehow cessier. The suffering and non-existence is so much more horrible. Come on, all of your perception. I'm a professional athlete, or whatever you called yourself. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, that means you're a professional egomaniacal crazy fuck, right? You're playing some competitive game where, let's see who can do this the best, and the thing you're doing is meaningless. It's nothing. You're not curing cancer. Why don't you be a professional, useful person? Why don't you try being a professional, useful person instead of a fucking ego-chasing douchebag?
Not at all points, but, all things being equal, where suffering and pleasure are relatively equal.
Yeah, and how do you know what that is, right? So you've experienced all this stuff. You can tell me what it is to have migraine headaches. You can tell me what it is to have other chronic conditions that people have to live with every day of their fucking life. You have all the experience and all the knowledge of what suffering is. You have actually experienced the worst suffering because you have a hypersensitivity condition, so you know what it is even more than they know it is, right? So you've walked enough in everybody else's shoes to say, there's no fucking doubt about it. Being mega dork is so cool that it doesn't matter. Like you could have cancer and chemo and all this other kind of crap, and it would be way worth it because you're mega dork, and being mega dork is really cool. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that that's the case in non-existence, and if you were in that case in existence, I'd rather exist.
How the fuck can you say something that's stupid? I mean, really? So you're sitting on the couch of non-existence, needing for nothing. You don't want to be a Moonican, or a Venetian, or a Moonikite, or a Mercuryoid, right? A Mercuryoid? So you're telling me that if you were in non-existence, there would be something compelling you saying, wait a minute, I want to be a Mercuryoid. Because, they would all be in the game from non-existence's perspective, right? Let's just say you could be any kind of alien fucknut, octopus man on Venus, whatever, inverto brain on Mercury, Moonican, you could be like Mr. Cheese on Mercury, Moon, on the Moon, be Mr. Cheese on the Moon, Mr. Smelly Cheese. And you're telling me that sitting on the couch of non-existence, needing for nothing, wanting for nothing, having no compulsive desire, no hunger whatsoever, you're going to get up and go eat. So you have no hunger, yet you're going to get up and go get in your cheese suit. You're telling me that makes logical sense? No. Your perception that this game has value is a fucking mechanism of a DNA molecule, retard. Wake up and smell reality.
I'm sorry, I'm just kind of bored, and I don't...
Who cares?
I haven't been happy and I haven't been sad.
Who cares?
I would certainly not want to be dead.
Who cares? I wouldn't want to be dead, because I know what being dead is, and being dead is like, horrible. It's like double gravity. In dead. When you're dead, there's double gravity. No, afraid not. No proof of that.
That's just a fact.
Oh, yeah. It's a fact that you know what being dead is.
A lot of the philosophy is based on this sort
brain
of inevitability of suffering, but I don't have a problem with the inevitability of
Yeah, you don't. Isn't that brilliant? Okay, so because you don't, you can play God for somebody else. Your projection of value means you can say it's okay. So if some fucker lives in some scummy, really absolute, real cesspool in a cardboard box with sewage running outside the front door of the cardboard box, active live worm-infested duty sewage going by. And because they say, it's alright, it's a new day, the sun is out, let's fuck and have a baby. I'm supposed to respect that intrinsically, fundamentally, because that fucktard thinks he's winning. That fucking idiot who steps over the trench of worm-infested duty every day, that retard, I somehow have to respect his idiotic statement that I'm winning. This is worth doing again, and again, and again, and again. Let's make lots of babies so they can wallow in the sewage. I'm supposed to respect that. That's intrinsically respectable. Somehow that's a statement saying I'm winning, my life is good. Who the fuck cares? I think life is idiotic and stupid. I resent being here. How do you fix that, fucker? If I was born to you and I saw this fucking video, I would punch you in the fucking face. Hard.
Suffering. It's just one of those things that's part of life, and you may
fuck you.
More, and you may,
yeah, I may pull the straw that's really short. You may be blind and deaf and dumb. Too bad. Tough luck. I felt like it. I don't have to have any better reason than to say, I'm super cool, I'm mega dork man, so I decided to make you. Fuck you.
And you may have more pleasure in life. It just depends. And it's kind of childish to judge life only on its worst merits.
Oh yeah, well that's your paraphrase. We're just judging the worst merits. No, we're just basically explaining that all the good merits aren't really merits, asshole. Okay, that you're little glory hunting, you're going to be a professional athlete. Well, guess what? You're going to fail. You're going to die, asshole, and no one's going to give a fuck who you were. No one's going to remember what you did. It's all going to mean nothing, shit for brains. Okay? So, you're the one living some idiotic delusion that, oh yeah, the chicks are going to love me because I'm a professional hopscotcher. Yeah. Dream on.
Only on its best merits, because life just is. It's not too...
Oh, there, that's just fucking too brilliant, right? I mean, I can't go a day without the life just is statement. That is just so I mean, it's like, that's like God in the Bible, right? He says, somebody asks, who are you, God? What you up to? And he goes, I am that I am. Yeah, that's a brilliant answer. I mean, we could all just do that, right? You don't have an answer? Just say, it is. It just is. Oh, there. That solves it all, right? We don't have to worry about that whole DNA replicating thing, stealing energy, pointless gladiator wars, 4 billion years of skin-ripping horror, the carnage in just the fact that most organisms, it takes hundreds of live births to get just to 2 mating pairs. Oh, let's ignore all of that and just pretend it's all some kind of idiotic retard parade. And then it just is the magnificent parade of stomping on the skulls. Oh, God. You really are a mega dork. Mega evil.
Good or bad, it's just a thing.
It's just a thing.
It's just a consequence of chemistry.
Oh, duty. And right, and that's what we're participants in. We don't have any control, we don't have any intelligence, we can't do any fucking analysis. No, just get in the car, turn the key because everybody else is doing it. Bravo, how fucking enlightening.
The big thing about euphemism is they say that life is broken. And you need a point of contrast. What's this fixed?
Yeah, we've gone through this already. Yeah, efficiency is the argument, okay? And that there can't be any efficiency because it's a zero-sum game. It makes a mess, it cleans up part of the mess. Explain how that's not the truth. Explain the unneeded need. All the needs don't need to be created. There's no need id, need here. No need needs to be created. No sentient in need needs to be created. Can you explain where the real need is? Can you explain where it's not just a perception in somebody's head and there is no fucking statement in the universe saying this is a good idea? Where is that? Oh, that's right, it doesn't exist. So again, misparaphrase to your purposes, the same old bullshit. Don't exactly quote anybody, cunt.
Life, because if the fixed life is utopianism, well, that's not fair, because we've never had an example of it.
Oh, it's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair to apply rules. Like I've given these analogies before. You call yourself a professional athlete. Describe to me the single sport that hasn't been refined by fairness rules. And explain exactly how you can do that to life. How you're going to still have a game if you make it fair or just. How you can ever make it a bargain. You know when you go to play the game that the other guy can't wear brass knuckles, that you can't get kicked in the balls, you can't this happen, that can't happen. And that any risk you take is of your own volition, that you put yourself at jeopardy. It's not part of the game because we've tried to make all these games fair. Somebody can't just show up and whap you with a baseball bat. So again, explain to how life plays by those rules. Explain how you're going to make it so you get what you deserve, or you get what you ask for. That somehow I will consent to play, and I won't be instead just thrown in the trunk as garbage by you fucking assholes as you go off to your party land. You're a bunch of silly 14-year-old girls running people over on the street to get fingernail polish. That's all you are. You're nothing better than that. You're just dim-witted, silly people who are recklessly and sloppily harming things because you're too stupid to understand that you don't have a right to do that.
We need to say something's broken. You have to say how it could be fixed. For instance, I have a phone. I just got that phone, and the big thing about that phone was my previous phone was broken. The antenna in it just didn't work very well, and it was a similar model phone.
Oh,
and,
boring.
That's actually my mother's old phone.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Mommy's
there's
phone.
There's an example. Something was broken,
He's using
and
Mommy's
I know what a
phone.
fixed version is. I couldn't get that phone fixed.
Oh, fixed version is. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. You couldn't get that one fixed, so you just made a new one. Right, so let's fix us by just making Venetians or Martians. Let's forget about this design. Let's just inject our DNA on another planet, and we'll narrow what it can turn into. And so we'll eliminate snakes and whatever flesh-eating microbes. We'll take some of the things out of the equation, and that'll be called fixed. No, I call that stupid. Okay, there's nothing to the game. Okay, it's broken like tic-tac-toe is broken. Nothing intelligent can play tic-tac-toe. Only idiots can play tic-tac-toe. Morons, children, juvenile idiots like yourself would think tic-tac-toe is a playable game. It can't be fixed, retard. There's no fixing it. It's fundamentally for morons. Nothing intelligent plays dumb games. That's the way it works. And life is a dumb game. No justice, no fairness, you don't get what you deserve, no game rules realistically. It's just fucktarded chaos. And you're saying, yes, I'm smart. I like playing for chaos. No, you're an idiot.
But I got a new phone. With my computer, I actually had the same thing. I had a battery that wasn't working a few years back, and what I did was I got the battery replaced. I fixed it. Do you see that? You can't have broken without fixed. So euphemism fails because if you...
Well, this is just stupid. There are things you can't do physically, okay? They just won't work, okay? Like you're in a 20-year flood zone and you build houses on sandbars. That's really fucking dumb. It's broken logic, right? So there's lots of ways things can be broken. So this silly analogy is that everything that's broken can be fixed is stupid. And the point of the word is just to describe that it's unintelligent design. It's not good architecture. It's bad architecture. It's not a designed game. It doesn't have rules of the game. It's not Marcus of Queensberry, okay? It's Jackass of Moron. And Jackass of Moron is not a good game. You don't sit there and pay to have Jackass of Moron, okay? Life is essentially bullfighting and cockfighting and dogfighting. All those things are great metaphors and analogies for life, all right? Stupid, idiotic, violent, horrifically expensive to sentient creature game, and you're sitting there endorsing them. I call that evil, stupid, moronic, ignorant. I call that broken logic.
You can make a distinction of something being broken. That means that in some form it should exist fixed.
Well, explain what the fix for tic-tac-toe is. Explain how you fix tic-tac-toe to make it a playable game without turning it into something that's not tic-tac-toe anymore. Explain how you take a desire organism, ego-driven, to consume and reproduce, and turn that into a playable game. Explain how you add all those refinements necessary to make that a useful or serviceable game that doesn't create victims.
I can't really find I can't think of a counterexample of that. And I know that, I'm going to get jumped on by Gary's people, and go for it. I'm not scared of that.
Yeah, well, I went for it, and I won, and you lost, and...
So, the whole thing doesn't really make sense, because if you look at, it's really just bitching.
Hem and haw. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's just such a classic argument. All right, so anytime you argue for any political rights or any kind of anything, I just call it bitching. I mean, this is just such a cheap, shitty argument. Would you just say that about the civil rights movement? Otherwise, you just use the N-word and just say, yeah, they're just bitching. Shut up and go get me another drink. Is that how it works on the weekends? You go ask your slave to go fill up your glass for you, fucker? This is just the lamest of arguments. That somehow the wimps and the cowards and the pussies and the crybabies are the ones who are fighting for something. Well, fuck you. I mean, I wish I could. You fucking asshole. You're going to call me a baby or a crybaby or a whiner or a pussy? Well, you can find my address on the internet. You want to come here and say those words? Then fine. You want to do it to the death, fucker? I'll be in your face. Anytime, fucker. Fuck you and that shit, you idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
I think really hit on this in a really good way, is that it is just bitching. Because on the one end, if you hate life so much, kill yourself.
Oh, there we go. Another brilliant argument. That solves the goddamn problem. All the victims, it's all resolved. Okay? You don't want to die from a drunk driver, then kill yourself, and that'll stop drunk drivers. Right? You don't want your kids to be killed by a drunk driver? Well, then pre-kill them, so now they're immune, and that solves the problem. No new kids ever will get killed by a drunk driver again. I mean, this logic is fucking idiotic. I resent being here, okay? Benatar's book, Better Never to Have Been. I resent being here, shithead. And there's no way to undo the being. It's assholes like you who thought you had the fucking right. What we should do, what needs to start happening is kids have to start doing their parents in. And maybe a little bit of the fear of God would get into those cunts before they have the goddamn kids. Because that's the way, really, is that the only way you're going to learn a lesson? Somebody has to really smack you upside the fucking head and say, hey, asshole, I'm here. I'm somebody. You can't just deny I exist, you cunt. I think you fucking suck, and I think you ought to mind your own goddamn business. I think as a god, you're a useless sack of shit. Until you get some real god powers, I don't think you should be playing the creation game, shithead.
I don't mean to encourage that.
Yeah, fuck you.
But there's no dancing around it. If you think life is a bad thing, and you're alive... and Gary kind of dances around this by giving this kind of bullshit type of excuse, like, oh, I'm spreading this idea and it's important, you know, and, you know, that'll win hearts and minds. I mean, dude, you get, like, what, a couple thousand views in a video on this?
Oh, so that's the standard now. That's the standard of whether you have a rational argument or whether your argument has integrity, is how many views it gets on YouTube. Well, guess what, fucker? Someday maybe I'll have the opportunity to challenge you fuckers in public and make you into the little whining fucking nerd monsters that you goddamn are. But you have no argument. Kill yourself? I'd love to see that on like one of these Fox News shows or something. And the counter argument to the civil rights guy, the guy asking for civil rights, is kill yourself. Wouldn't it be funny if it's a guy who's arguing for the right to die and some asshole just says, well, why don't you just kill yourself? Gee, fuck you.
So,
you sack of shit.
You're not winning hearts and minds.
Yeah, fuck you.
You know, you write a book on it, write a best-selling book, and maybe.
Oh yeah, those really work. I don't need your advice, asshole. I'm making the argument, and the only thing that hasn't happened yet is the argument hasn't been made public. Okay, that's it. Okay, Benatar wrote a book, and everybody's just basically ignoring it so far. But someday it's going to have to be dealt with. And once it's dealt with in an arena where we can show you assholes to be the lame bullshitters that you are, you have no argument. I'm a selfish fuck. I should have the right to decide that my kid should live in a cardboard box and eat sewage. Well, fuck you. I don't think you have a right. I don't think you have a right to declare what the standards are of responsible parenthood. Fuck you.
You have a topic, but what you have right now is you just have a bunch of people who are basically yes men, who like your work for whatever reason.
And you have snake paleskiness. Okay, a guy who has to take psychiatric drugs every day to get through his day and drink. He can't get through life without drinking and taking psychiatric drugs. And somehow that, to you, is success. Way to go, Dark.
And embrace your philosophy. So, you know, you have that option. You know, the other option is, of course, if you're not going to kill yourself, and you say that the products of life are going to lead to life's extinction because life is broken, which you've said.
Yeah, again, so another misparaphrase. No, what I've said is the human race does everything badly, and it will do its destruction badly. So it might mean thousands of years of AK-47 wars, okay, tons and tons, and it make the Holocaust look like it'll make it look like a birthday party for a 5-year-old. That's how bad it could get in the future. And you assholes are going to be the ones responsible for it. So brav the fucko. Keep talking up the machine, dork.
Just go on living your life and quit bitching about it.
Fuck you, I'm going to bitch twice as much. I'd like to bitch right into your bitch you right in the goddamn nose, you fucking cunt. I'll bitch all I want. I'll argue all I want. I'll show you to be a ballless, dickless idiot. That's what you are. You're dumb, you're ballless, you're dickless, and you smell. You're a fucking king of the dork.
You know, you're not changing anything.
Fuck you. How do you know, shit brains?
Anyway.
How the fuck do you know this shit? Oh, that's right. It's another one of your godly powers for which you don't have that you just made up. I'll pretend I know what's going to happen. Blonk. Yeah, fuck you.
You're just making it faster. So...
Oh, yeah, so that could save billions of individuals from pointlessly suffering, and that would sort of be a good idea. Yeah, let's see if we can get as many people off the Titanic before it sinks as possible. Yeah, that might be rational.
At some point, the sun doesn't really matter.
Oh, says you. Yeah. The victims, that is just so sympathetic to the victims. When you say, well, a few victims really don't matter. 10, 15, 500, 6 million. Numbers, smumbers. Yeah, you talk about their suffering with this kind of casuality, and that just demonstrates you to be such a motherfucking cunt.
But, enjoy to hear your responses.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Fuck you. I'd like to fucking take my professionally athletic finger and poke you in the fucking eye with it. Cunt. Yeah, fuck you.